February 14th, 2025, Valeria Marquez, a rising social media star, was live on TikTok at her beauty salon in Zapopan, Jalisco. She joked about waiting for a mysterious gift delivery, never guessing those would be her final moments. What happened next shocked Mexico and exposed the deadly risks of influencer fame. Here are 10 times cartels messed with the wrong influencers.
A rising Latin music star whose songs include lyrics praising El Chapo won't play a concert in Rosemont tonight, this because of threats from a drug cartel.
Peso Pluma never expected to find himself at the center of a cartel power struggle, but the singer, with real name Hassan Emilio Cabande-Laicha, had built his career by walking a dangerous line, and when he crossed it, the response was swift. This isn't just another story about a musician facing threats. Peso Pluma is one of the most popular Latin artists on the planet, with more than 40 million monthly Spotify listeners and history-making performances at the MTV Video Music Awards. But his fame came with a price, one that would soon be demanded. Peso Pluma's music doesn't just flirt with controversy. It dives headfirst into the dangerous world of narco corridos, songs that glorify drug traffickers and cartel life. His lyrics paint vivid pictures of pistols, smuggled cocaine, and sending rivals to the cemetery. In his hit Siempre Pendientes, he wields a machine gun and tells the story of a loyal foot soldier for Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, founder of the Sinaloa cartel. His bold words and viral videos built a massive following, especially among younger fans on TikTok. But every view brought him closer to the edge. By mid-2023, Peso Pluma's fame was exploding. He became the first Mexican star to perform at the MTV VMAs, made appearances on The Tonight Show, and played massive festivals. His music was everywhere, but so were the enemies he was making. It all came to a head in September 2023. 4 large banners appeared across Tijuana, each carrying a chilling message.
Multiple banners found saying, quote, "This goes to Peso Pluma. Refrain from presenting yourself on October 14th because it will be your last show due to your disrespect and loose tongue," end quote.
The banners were signed CJNG, the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, Sinaloa's bitter rivals, and one of Mexico's most violent criminal organizations. The threat couldn't have been clearer or more public, but Peso Pluma's response would surprise everyone. At first, Peso Pluma said nothing. His team quietly postponed several U.S. concerts, including shows in Indianapolis, Milwaukee, and Rosemont, citing unforeseen circumstances. But the Tijuana show, the one specifically targeted by the cartel, remained on the schedule, creating a tense standoff. The Jalisco cartel didn't just want to stop Peso Pluma's music, they wanted to send a message to all artists who dared praise their rivals. This was about control, territory, and respect, and the stakes couldn't have been higher. As the concert date approached, pressure mounted. Fans worried about safety. Authorities debated whether to cancel the show. The city of Tijuana braced for potential violence. But Peso Pluma stayed silent, refusing to back down or acknowledge the threats. The world watched, waiting to see who would blink first, the rising star or the ruthless cartel. Finally, just days before the scheduled concert, Peso Pluma made his move. He canceled the Tijuana show, not with a press conference or dramatic announcement, but with a quiet, almost defiant statement.
And he was supposed to perform at the Rosemont Theater this evening, but public death threats were posted in spots around Tijuana earlier this week, leading Pluma to postpone concerts. His stop at Rosemont is now rescheduled for October the 29th.
The message was clear. He wouldn't give the cartel the satisfaction of forcing his hand publicly, but he also wasn't foolish enough to walk into a trap. But the story didn't end there. Peso Pluma's calculated response sent shockwaves through the industry. Instead of backing down completely, he used the controversy to amplify his message. His music became even more popular. His fan base grew larger and more loyal, and his silence spoke louder than any lyrics ever could.
It's just a dream, and I'm very grateful for the genre that I do. It's going global, and it's breaking barriers. and I'm just thankful for all the people that supporting the Mexican music.
The attempted intimidation backfired spectacularly. Instead of silencing Peso Pluma, the cartel's threats turned him into a symbol of resistance. Today, Peso Pluma's career is bigger than ever. His music continues to push boundaries and break records, but he's become more careful about his public statements, a lesson learned the hard way. The Jalisco cartel's attempt to control his voice only amplified it, proving that even the most ruthless organizations can't always silence those who refuse to bow. Peso Pluma may still walk a dangerous line, but now he does it with the world watching and supporting him. The cartel tried to make an example of him, but instead, he became an example of how even the most powerful criminal organizations can be outplayed. But if you thought this was intense, wait until you see what happens when this next influencer draws attention from cartels of a whole different country. March 17th, 2023, the World Baseball Classic quarterfinals in Miami. Amid thousands of passionate fans, Tekashi 6'9", half Puerto Rican, half Mexican by blood, but all controversy by nature, waves a Mexican flag defiantly at a stadium packed with Puerto Rican supporters. In a flash, beer cans fly his direction as the crowd erupts in rage. But this wasn't just about sports. Behind the theatrics, deeper conflicts were brewing in the Latin music world, and Tekashi was about to find out just how dangerous viral fame can become. Tekashi 6'9", born Daniel Hernandez, built his career on controversy. Raised in Brooklyn by his Mexican immigrant mother, he made enemies everywhere, in the streets, the industry, and the underworld, with his loud, confrontational style. But that day at the World Baseball Classic, he crossed a line even he didn't fully realize. The stadium incident quickly went viral. Puerto Rican fans saw it as a direct insult, especially coming from someone with Puerto Rican roots. But Tekashi doubled down, claiming only his Mexican heritage because his dad abandoned him.
Tu papá ahora.
No me importa.
Ok.
No me importa. Mi mamá me crió mexicana.
Pero tú triunfaste en la vida, ¿no?
¿Qué? What's your fact?
Con tu papá o sin tu papá.
Mi mamá me crió mexicana, inmigrante.
And this wasn't just about baseball anymore. It was about loyalty, identity, and respect. The backlash was instant and fierce. Social media exploded with criticism, memes, and threats. But Tekashi, true to form, refused to back down. He continued to taunt his critics, even posting a video declaring,
"A Mexican runs this f***ing game."
The defiance only fueled the fire. As the controversy grew, threats started rolling in. Not just from online trolls, but from serious players in Puerto Rico's underworld. Tekashi's security team warned him to stay away from the island, but he ignored their advice, booking a concert in San Juan anyway. That's when things got real. Just days before his scheduled performance, explicit threats appeared online. One post read,
"If Tekashi sets foot in Puerto Rico, he won't leave alive."
But in a stunning twist, Mexican cartels stepped in, issuing a warning that if anything happened to Tekashi on the island, there would never be another Puerto Rican artist performing in Mexico again. Suddenly, what started as a personal beef became an international incident. The threat of cartel retaliation was all too real and deadly serious. Puerto Rican promoters rushed to cancel the concert, fearing for everyone's safety. But Tekashi, ever the provocateur, couldn't resist pushing further. He posted a video from the steps of a private jet, holding a Puerto Rican flag, taunting his enemies. The message was clear: he wasn't backing down. The situation escalated quickly. Security experts confirmed cartel involvement, and both Mexican and Puerto Rican authorities quietly began monitoring the situation. What started as a viral stunt now threatens to disrupt cross-border cultural exchanges and business ties. Then came the gym attack. On March 21st, Tekashi was ambushed at an LA Fitness in West Palm Beach. Security footage captured the brutal assault by 3 men, leaving him bloodied and battered. And the timing and method raised immediate suspicion of organized retaliation. But the story took another unexpected turn. Authorities quickly arrested 3 suspects, Rafael Medina Jr., Octavius Medina, and Anthony Maldonado, charging them with felony battery and robbery.
All right, new this morning, we are getting a look at the suspects accused of beating rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine in a Palm Beach gym just a couple of weeks ago.
While their direct connection to the Puerto Rican threats remained unclear, the message was unmistakable. Tekashi's actions had real violent consequences. Yet through it all, Tekashi refused to retreat. He continued performing, provoking, and posting controversial content. The gym attack became another chapter in his legend, proof that even physical violence couldn't silence him. But the true turning point wasn't violence, it was economic power. The Mexican cartel warning forced Puerto Rican promoters to reconsider booking any artist for Mexican shows. The threat of losing access to Mexico's massive music market was too great. Suddenly, Tekashi's protection wasn't just about him. It was about safeguarding millions in revenue for the entire industry. In the end, it wasn't guns or threats that won the day. It was money. The cartel's economic leverage forced a truce, at least on the surface. Puerto Rican artists continued performing in Mexico, and Tekashi kept making headlines. As Tekashi continues his career, the message is clear. He may have survived this round, but he's playing a dangerous game with powerful players. The cartel's protection saved him this time, but their support comes at a price. And in this world, debts always get paid. Next up, we'll see what happens when a female rapper and influencer runs into a cartel checkpoint in Mexico.
Drugs in there, sir.
Pesos?
That's all.
$1,500?
The flashing lights cut through the night as armed men rummaged through Chameleon's vehicle. It looked like a routine stop, but what happened next revealed just how far the cartels would go to exploit tourists, and how this rising rapper turned the tables on their extortion game. Chameleon, a Grammy-winning songwriter and rising hip-hop star from Jacksonville, Florida, had been on a trip to Mexico with her crew. Known for her infectious energy and confidence, she never expected her vacation would turn into a viral cautionary tale about corruption and cartel intimidation. It started innocently enough, a late-night drive back to their Airbnb, but suddenly their car was pulled over by an armed group. At first, it seemed like a routine check, but the tone quickly shifted. The men started searching their bags, looking for any excuse to demand money. The tension builds as Chameleon repeatedly denies having any drugs in the car, while the officers persistently ask,
"It's drugs in there, sir?" Well, then came the real reason for the stop, the demand for $50,000. Chameleon, realizing this was a classic shakedown, stood her ground. She called out their behavior on camera, saying, "That's crazy. They trying to hustle us. We ain't got no drugs in the car, and they're trying to make us pay $50,000.
Situation grew increasingly tense as the men searched through personal belongings, shining flashlights into the vehicle and demanding more money. Chameleon, clearly under pressure, stated,
"I can give you what I have. I don't have any drugs."
The men continued their intimidation tactics, isolating the group and exploiting the language barrier. What the cartel didn't expect was that Chameleon had already hit record on her phone.
Drugs in there, sir.
Pesos?
That's all.
$1,500?
OMG. That's my. I don't have any drugs.
She documented every moment, every demand, every accusation, every threat. The footage captured the officers' faces, their uniforms, and their voices demanding money. It was clear evidence of their corrupt operation. When the officers realized they weren't getting the full $50,000, they settled for taking $1,500 from Chameleon's stylist. But Chameleon had hidden her own money, refusing to give in to the extortion. Despite the fear and intimidation, she maintained her composure and protected her crew's assets. After the harrowing experience, Chameleon took to social media, posting the footage and warning others. She made it clear this wasn't just a random crime. It was organized, systematic extortion targeting tourists. Her advice was direct.
Don't stay in an Airbnb. Stay somewhere that's in a developed community, because our ass was in an Airbnb. The streets weren't even paved where we were staying.
She exposed the cartel's tactics and gave practical safety tips for future travelers. The reaction was immediate and widespread. Fellow artists and influencers like Just Brittany, Jessie Woo, and Lil Mo all expressed relief that Chameleon made it out safely. Her story went viral, shining a spotlight on the corrupt practices of the so-called police cartel and their extortion scheme. But what makes this case stand out isn't just the successful escape, it's how Chameleon's footage became evidence. By documenting everything, she turned their intimidation tactics against them. Chameleon's brave decision to film and share her experience didn't just save her crew. It exposed a dangerous pattern of cartel corruption targeting tourists in Mexico. Her footage now serves as a powerful tool in exposing these corrupt practices and protecting future travelers. It became a warning to others and put pressure on authorities to address the growing issue of police cartel collusion. But if you think this was the only time an influencer turned the tables on cartel extortion, wait until you hear what happened when another famous influencer was green-lighted for death by a cartel.
All that fake narratives that the internet's portraying, they're just getting a lot of people into trouble that has nothing to do with your boy. It has nothing to do with me.
July 7th, 2022. Swifty Blue, a popular rapper from Los Angeles, found himself at the center of a deadly conspiracy orchestrated by the Mexican mafia. His social media posts made him an easy target, but what happened next would change the game forever. Swifty Blue, real name Nelson Abrego, wasn't just another rapper chasing clout. He built his career on authenticity, refusing to play by the unspoken rules of street politics. His social media presence made him both famous and vulnerable, a dangerous combination in LA's gang culture. The trouble began in late 2022 when Swifty Blue allegedly broke one of the Mexican mafia's cardinal rules. The details remain murky, but one thing was clear. He was placed on the infamous green light list. This marked him for death, not just on the streets, but even behind bars. What followed was a coordinated conspiracy that stretched from California prisons to the streets of Los Angeles. Mexican mafia associates tracked Swifty Blue's movements through social media, even showing up at his family's home looking for him. The pressure was relentless, and the threat very real. Things escalated when Swifty Blue landed in the Los Angeles County Jail. Known as shot callers, high-ranking Mexican mafia members coordinated with street associates to confirm his green light status. When it was verified, sureños, or soldiers inside the jail, attacked him with a weapon. Swifty Blue barely survived, requiring hospitalization for his injuries. But survival only made him a bigger target. When word spread that he had lived through the attack, the Mexican mafia doubled down on their efforts to find and kill him. Swifty Blue was released from jail a few days later, but the threat followed him outside. What makes this case extraordinary isn't just the complex web of conspirators. 19 people were eventually charged in connection with the murder plot. It's how Swifty Blue handled the situation publicly that changed the narrative. Instead of hiding, Swifty Blue took to social media to address the rumors and threats head-on. In a now famous video, he directly challenged the authenticity of those spreading rumors about him.
And then all of a sudden, niggas get caught up for talking on the phones. Oh, Swifty telling. You f***ing retarded? Do I look like I was talking to a f***ing informant? You got me f***ed up.
His message was clear.
Real people don't talk about what they're gonna do on the internet. They just act.
Swifty Blue didn't just survive the green light, he flipped the script. By refusing to play by the traditional rules of silence and fear, he exposed the Mexican mafia's tactics while simultaneously protecting himself through visibility. His social media presence became both sword and shield. The authorities took notice too. The coordinated investigation by the FBI's San Gabriel Valley Safe Streets Task Force and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department Major Crimes Bureau resulted in 19 arrests. The charges ranged from conspiracy to murder to gang-related violence, striking a significant blow to the Mexican mafia's operations. But Swifty Blue's impact went beyond law enforcement victories. He became a symbol of resilience in the face of organized crime intimidation. His refusal to be silenced inspired others facing similar threats, showing that sometimes the best defense is going public. Still, the danger wasn't over. Even after the arrest, one key figure remained at large. Joshua Ewan, a 37-year-old from Paramount, became a fugitive, demonstrating the ongoing threat these organizations pose. Swifty Blue's response to the situation set a new standard for dealing with criminal intimidation in the social media age. He maintained his code of silence about specific details while using his platform to control the narrative. The case against the 19 accused conspirators moved forward, but Swifty Blue's story became much more than a single criminal case. It represented a turning point in how influencers could confront organized crime threats in the digital age. His survival and public stance against the Green Light Order dealt a significant blow to the Mexican mafia's intimidation tactics. It showed that their traditional methods of control could be challenged and even defeated in the social media era. But if you think standing up to the Mexican mafia was bold, wait until you see what happened when another influencer completely humiliated the cartels that threatened him. September 9th, Tijuana. The Buena Vista neighborhood woke up to a sinister message. An ominous banner, clearly not a prank, warned Junior H not to perform in the city. It wasn't just a threat, it was a declaration of war from the underworld. This wasn't the first time a cartel tried to intimidate a rising star, but what happened next would reshape how artists and criminals interact in Mexico. Antonio Herrera, known worldwide as Junior H, isn't your average singer. Born in Guanajuato, he's become one of the most influential voices in modern regional Mexican music. His hits like Huelloro and Lady Gaga with Peso Pluma have dominated charts. With sold-out shows at BMO Stadium and a Coachella performance, he's not just a musician, he's a cultural force. But his success came with a price: unwanted attention from the cartels. The warning came just 2 months before his Sad Boys Live and Broken tour was set to kick off in Tijuana. The cartel message was clear: perform and face the consequences. Similar threats had silenced other stars. Peso Pluma canceled 6 shows. Grupo Firma pulled out of Sinaloa. But Junior H wasn't about to back down. The stakes were higher than ever. Instead of canceling, Junior H took a bold step. He went straight to the Baja California prosecutor's office. The official investigation started immediately. This time, the authorities weren't about to let the cartels dictate culture. They promised full security if he chose to perform. The message was clear: the era of artists living in fear was over. The response was swift and coordinated. State police, federal agents, and private security created an unprecedented protection plan. It wasn't just about one concert, it was about sending a message. Artists wouldn't bow to criminal intimidation anymore. The concert became a test case for how Mexico would handle future threats against its cultural icons. Or the showdown was set for November 9th at the Explanada del Estadio Caliente. Tension ran high as the date approached. The night of the concert, Tijuana was on edge. Security forces blanketed the area. Fans braved the tension, refusing to let fear win. Junior H took the stage, defiant and triumphant. His performance wasn't just music, it was a statement. The cartels had lost this round. The price of intimidation had become too high. After the concert, something remarkable happened. Other artists began speaking out. The once silent victims found their voices. Security protocols changed nationwide. The message was clear: artists wouldn't be silenced by threats anymore. Today, Junior H continues his tour, now with even greater security and support. The cartel's attempt to silence him backfired. Instead of fear, they created a movement. Artists across Mexico now stand together, refusing to let violence dictate their craft. But this victory came with a cost. Security expenses skyrocketed for all performances. Venues implemented strict protocols. The relationship between artists and the underworld changed forever. The cartels learned that silencing one voice could amplify thousands. Junior H's stand wasn't just about one concert. It was about reclaiming cultural space from criminal control. The message echoed across Mexico. Artists would no longer be pawns in cartel power plays. The price of intimidation had simply become too high. Next, the cartels forced the hands of another influencer and music star, and his fans went wild. April 2025, Texcoco, Mexico. Luis R. Conriquez, a rising regional Mexican music star, stands on stage, facing a crowd hungry for his infamous narco corridos. But tonight, his setlist is missing the songs that made him famous. The reason? Government pressure to drop tracks glorifying cartel life. What happened next would change the face of Mexican music forever. Luis R. Conriquez built his career on narco corridos, songs celebrating the exploits of Mexico's most notorious drug traffickers. His music resonated across the country, especially with young fans drawn to the dangerous glamour of cartel culture. But as his popularity grew, so did official scrutiny. President Claudia Sheinbaum's war on narco corridos had reached a boiling point. For months, Conriquez faced mounting pressure from authorities to change his act. Several states already banned narco corridos at public events. But Texcoco was different. A historic venue where fans expected to hear the outlaw ballads that made him famous. As concert day approached, rumors swirled about new restrictions. Backstage, Conriquez's team received a clear message: no more cartel songs or face severe consequences. The turning point came just before showtime. Conriquez, flanked by his manager and security, reviewed the revised setlist one last time. The absence of his biggest hits was glaring, but the stakes were too high. Recent violence at cartel-linked events left little room for negotiation. As he took the stage, tension crackled in the air. The crowd sensed something was off. Conriquez addressed the audience directly, explaining the government's ban on his narco corridos. He tried to keep the mood light, promising an unforgettable show despite the restrictions. But the crowd's reaction was immediate and hostile. Booing erupted, quickly escalating to thrown objects and beer cans pelting the stage. Security struggled to control the growing chaos. The situation spiraled out of control. Fans surged onto the stage. Nearly 20 people stormed the platform, destroying instruments and sound equipment. Security was overwhelmed as the riot spread. The once celebratory atmosphere turned violent and destructive. Conriquez and his band fled for their safety as the crowd vented its rage on everything in sight. State authorities later confirmed no serious injuries, but the damage was done. The concert became a national spectacle, exposing deep cultural divisions and the dangerous power of cartel influence in music. Conriquez's manager posted on Instagram explaining their compliance with government orders and condemning the violence, but the incident had already gone viral. The Texcoco riot marked a turning point in Mexico's battle over cartel influence in popular culture. Authorities responded with stricter enforcement of narco corrido bans. Other artists faced similar pressure to clean up their acts. Conriquez himself became a symbol, caught between artistic freedom and the brutal realities of cartel power. His career would never be the same. Next, a regional Mexican band gets threatened by the brutal Jalisco New Generation cartel.
Fueron prácticamente expulsados de la zona por criminales que irrumpieron a balazos en una firma de autógrafos y amenazaron de muerte al vocalista de la agrupación Arturo González, por lo que se suspendió el concierto que estaba programado para el sábado.
February 11th, 2023, Tijuana. Grupo Ariscado's autograph signing turns deadly as gunfire erupts in a shopping mall packed with fans and families. The signature sound of chaos, shots echoing, screams, and a stampede for safety. This wasn't just a warning, it was a declaration of war from one of Mexico's most dangerous cartels. Grupo Ariscado, a rising regional Mexican band known for its bold corridos, had become a target. Their music, celebrating infamous cartel figures, was always controversial. But in Tijuana, those lyrics crossed a deadly line. The trouble started days before. a narco banner appeared on a highway overpass, a public threat from the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG. It named the band's vocalist, Arturo Gonzalez, better known as Panter Bellico, and ordered him to leave Tijuana or face the consequences. Their mistake, ignoring the warning. Despite the threat, they began their scheduled fan event at Plaza Paseo 2000. Hundreds gathered, children, families, loyal fans, unaware they were walking into a battleground. The attack was sudden. Gunmen stormed the venue, firing into the crowd. Panic exploded. Fans dove for cover. The band barely escaped with their lives. The message was clear. Grupo Ariscado was not welcome in Tijuana. The cartel's demands were public and specific: cancel the concert, leave the city, or face death. The band complied. Their official statement cited recent events and instructions from authorities as the reason for canceling their sold-out show. But the real reason was plain: survival. But the cost was more than missed tour dates. In a heartbreaking video from the empty concert venue, Panter Bellico recorded himself, voice breaking as he surveyed the abandoned stage. The betrayal cut deeper than the threats. Panter Bellico felt abandoned, not just by his team, but by the industry that once celebrated his bravado. The investigation moved quickly. Security footage revealed the attackers, 3 men known by their street names: El Pitufo, El Enano, and El Chompiras. Behind them, the alleged mastermind, El Padrino, orchestrated the assault from the shadows. The band retreated, but their music didn't die. The attempted silencing only amplified their fame. Fans rallied, streaming their songs in defiance. Concerts in safer regions sold out. The message was clear: art wouldn't bow to intimidation. But the price remained high. The shadow of violence now followed every performance. Security doubled, venues changed last minute. The dream of musical success twisted into a nightmare of constant fear. Next, a Mexican beauty influencer who is one of the most unlikely people to ever cross paths with a cartel.
The murder of a Mexican beauty influencer has sent shockwaves across the country.
Hoy andaba haciendo unas cosillas.
23-year-old Valeria Marquez shot to death during a TikTok live stream on Tuesday.
Valeria Marquez was more than just another rising star in the world of Mexican influencers. By age 23, she had built a following of hundreds of thousands on TikTok and Instagram, run her own beauty salon in Zapopan, and worked as a model for several prominent brands. Her posts mixed modern beauty trends with traditional Mexican style, striking young audiences across the country. But behind her social media presence, she was facing a reality far darker than any of her fans realized. Her journey to fame began in 2018, modeling for local brands in Guadalajara. By 2021, she won the Miss Rostro pageant, cementing her status as an emerging beauty icon. Valeria's Instagram showed her on private jets, yachts, and at luxurious destinations, a carefully curated image of success. Valeria opened her beauty salon in Zapopan in 2024, quickly becoming a hotspot for influencers and wealthy clients. But the area's reputation was complicated. While wealthy and seemingly secure, Zapopan was also a major battleground in Mexico's cartel wars. More than half of the local real estate was allegedly linked to money laundering. Violent crime was common, despite the upscale veneer. On February 14, 2025, everything changed. Valeria began her TikTok livestream at the salon, chatting casually with her followers. At first, it seemed like any other broadcast. She joked about an expensive gift delivery and waited for a courier. But her tone soon shifted, showing visible concern. She mentioned that her friend couldn't see the delivery man's face and wondered aloud if someone was trying to kidnap her. Then, the moment caught on camera.
Her followers watched her final moments live in this video.
Hola. Sí.
She looked away from the camera, grabbed her chest, and collapsed into her chair, all while still live on TikTok. The stream cut out abruptly as an unidentified woman picked up her phone and ended the broadcast. It was later confirmed that Valeria had been shot in the chest and head by a masked man posing as a delivery driver. The investigation revealed 2 men on motorcycles had arrived at the salon. One entered, asked if she was Valeria, and opened fire when she confirmed her identity. They fled immediately after the shooting. The attack was highly organized and targeted. This was no random act of violence. At first, speculation ran wild. Some believed it was a cartel hit, given Zapopan's criminal connections and Valeria's sudden wealth. Others pointed to gender-based violence, as she had allegedly received threats from an ex-partner. The Jalisco prosecutor's office investigated multiple leads, including possible links to organized crime. President Claudia Sheinbaum personally addressed the case, vowing justice and acknowledging Mexico's femicide crisis. But the investigation faced major obstacles. Zapopan's local government claimed Valeria had never reported any threats. The state prosecutor's office denied any direct cartel involvement, but admitted the area was a hotbed of criminal activity. Meanwhile, her salon became a memorial site with flowers and tributes piling up outside. Her social media accounts were quickly shut down, but not before her final broadcast went viral across Mexican social media. Within weeks, the U.S. Treasury sanctioned 5 senior members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, citing Valeria's murder as evidence of Mexico's escalating violence. One sanctioned individual, Ricardo Ruiz Velasco, became a key suspect in the killing. The case highlighted the deadly intersection of social media fame, organized crime, and gender-based violence in modern Mexico. Valeria's funeral drew massive crowds of friends, family, and fans. But even in death, she found no peace. Her tomb was vandalized shortly after burial. The investigation continues, with authorities promising justice. The shocking murder sent a clear message to Mexico's influencer community. In a place where fame can bring dangerous attention, Valeria's story became a cautionary tale. Her death exposed the dark reality behind social media glamour in cartel-controlled territories. And while the investigation slowly unfolds, her final moments, broadcast live to thousands, serve as a stark warning about the deadly cost of digital fame in modern Mexico. But if you think Valeria's case was tragic, what happened to the next individual on our list is the most heartbreaking you will ever see. May 15th, 1992, Culiacan, Mexico. Chalino Sanchez, the king of corridos, stood on stage reading a note that would seal his fate. The next day, his body would be found by an irrigation canal, with 2 bullet holes in his head. But how did a humble singer become a legend and a target? Chalino Sanchez wasn't born famous. He was born Rosalino Sanchez Felix in 1960, the youngest of 8 siblings in El Guayabo, Sinaloa. His childhood was marked by poverty, violence, and tragedy. By 15, he'd already taken justice into his own hands, shooting the man who raped his sister. That set the tone for his life: hard, uncompromising, and driven. By the mid-1980s, Chalino fled to the United States chasing survival. He worked fields, sold cars, hustled whatever he could, but he found his true calling behind bars, writing songs for inmates who wanted their stories immortalized. One cassette at a time, he built a following, singing about things most wouldn't dare whisper. His music wasn't just entertainment, it was raw, dangerous storytelling, often about real-life criminals, drug lords, and the brutal realities of northern Mexico. Chalino didn't have a perfect voice, but his words cut deeper than most. He became the voice of people who had none, documenting their lives, crimes, and tragedies. In January 1992, during a concert in Coachella, California, an armed man demanded that he sing a particular song. When Chalino refused, the man opened fire. Chalino shot back, starting a gunfight that left 1 dead and several injured. The incident only boosted his reputation, the tough guy who survived an assassination attempt on stage. But the real trouble started when he returned to Sinaloa. Friends warned him not to go back. The cartels didn't like his songs airing their dirty laundry. But Chalino was fearless, or perhaps fatalistic. His final concert at Salon Bugambilias was packed, electric. Then, during a song, someone handed him that note. He read it, his face drained, but he kept singing. What happened next showed his true character. He maintains his composure, adjusts his hat, wipes the sweat from his face, and prepares to continue performing. That night, he left the club with friends. Their car was stopped by men in federal police uniforms. They said their commander wanted to see him. Chalino got in their vehicle and disappeared. The next morning, his body was found by the irrigation canal, blindfolded, wrists marked by rope, shot twice in the head. The corpse of a man who sang too many truths for the wrong people. Chalino's death didn't silence him. It made him immortal. His music became legendary. His life the subject of countless songs, movies, and documentaries. He reconnected a generation of Mexican Americans with their roots, their pain, their reality. He showed that even the smallest voice could challenge power. The next influencer on the list went head-to-head with the Sinaloa cartel, and the outcome shocked the world. January 5th, Hermosillo, Sonora. A chilling banner hangs outside a local school, naming Natanael Cano and other musicians, and threatening their lives. The message is clear: stop supporting rival cartel groups or pay the ultimate price. Natanael Cano, just 23, isn't your typical influencer. He's a pioneer of corridos tumbados, a fusion of traditional Mexican corridos with trap and hip-hop. His music paints vivid tales of cartel life, sometimes glorifying it, sometimes reflecting its brutal realities. His rise to fame is meteoric, with millions streaming his hits, making him a star in a genre rooted deeply in cartel culture and violence. But Cano's success put a target on his back. Tension soared as a faction within the Sinaloa cartel, known as Los Matasalas, accused Cano and fellow artists of financially backing their rivals, the Salazares. That accusation wasn't just idle gossip, it was a death threat. For months, he kept making moves in the music world, blending styles and gaining fans fast. But his growing influence seemed to cross a dangerous line with the cartel's shifting power plays in northern Mexico. The banner was a public warning, a brutal way of saying,
"We're watching and we won't hesitate."
The moment that changed everything was the unveiling of that narco manta, that chilling banner. The message was ruthless.
Mind your own business. If you don't, you will be shot.
His response was defiant. Instead of hiding, Cano posted a now-deleted photo on Instagram, showing only blankets, the only mantas he cared about, with a laughing emoji. Some saw it as fearless, others as reckless. Authorities quickly stepped in. The Sonora prosecutor's office confirmed they opened an investigation and placed Cano and other threatened artists under state protection. It was an unprecedented move, recognizing the danger artists face when caught in cartel crossfire. This wasn't just about music anymore, it was about survival. Despite the threats, Cano continued to perform and produce. His video for Más Altas que Bajadas shows a man who rose from nothing, proudly flaunting his success. Luxury cars, platinum records, and a life far from his humble beginnings. But behind the flashiness lies a man aware of the stakes, especially when he raps about protecting his daughters and standing his ground. The cartel's message was brutal, but so was Cano's climb. He wasn't just a musician, he was a symbol of defiance, pushing back against the violence that threatened to silence him. The fallout, heightened security, public outcry, and a stark reminder that in northern Mexico, even singers aren't safe from cartel wars. Cano's defiance sent ripples through the cartel factions, showing that messing with the wrong influencer could come with unexpected consequences.